$1,000 crypto portfolio. If you are new to cryptocurrency or you have $1,000 or less to invest in cryptocurrency, then these are the 5 different crypto coins that I would hold to see the maximum possible returns versus limited downside risk. Hit the like button. Let's find out what those 5 coins are. Now, it's important as we move through this video that you understand exactly why I'm holding each of these coins. And maybe you've been in crypto for a while, but I still think this video will be of value for you because it's going to give you a few fundamental rules of building any crypto portfolio. Now, in this portfolio, I'm going to divide up my $1,000 amongst 5 coins equally, $200 into each of them. Now, first things first, Bitcoin. And you're like, Bitcoin's at all-time highs. Why the F would I hold Bitcoin right now? Well, because Bitcoin is still a risk asset that still offers returns, but it is also the lowest risk cryptocurrency that there is. And let me give you the example of that. Back in March, Bitcoin topped out. It dipped all the way down a whopping 33%. And if you're new to crypto, 33% might sound like a lot, but mark my words, you haven't seen anything yet. By contrast, this is Nosana that on the 6th of March topped out there, and then it pulled back a whopping 88%. This is why you must hold some exposure, in my opinion, of course, not financial advice. Go and do your own research in Bitcoin, because worst case, it dips 30-40% on any given period of time, and then it will continue towards the upside in a bull market, of course. You don't want to be stuck with all of your coins in these kind of altcoins, because if they dip against you, you will panic, you will sell everything, and you will lose most of your money. So while, yes, Nosana, for example, will have potentially much more upside from here, there is also the potential for huge volatility as this market progresses. Now, in my opinion, Bitcoin will end up towards around $130,000, potentially higher in the future, and that means that you will near enough double your money in that Bitcoin holding, which is still pretty good returns, particularly if you're newer to crypto. And yes, Bitcoin is at all-time highs, but it will continue to grow up from here because of the election, because of the monetary supply, and all the other stuff that I've been talking about for months on this YouTube channel. If you missed that, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Okay, Bitcoin aside, let's get into the stuff that's going to give us some potentially serious returns. As you're probably aware, there's going to be a few key narratives that will run this bull market. First of which, it's a bit of a no-brainer, is AI. Why? This is the global IT spend forecast for AI. You can see a surge to around $20 trillion by 2030. Crypto AI projects will take a slither of this, and this means that they will still see significant gains. Now, there are a lot of AI projects out there, but one that I think is a clear winner, particularly in the early stages of this bull market, is Tau Bitenza. Market cap $3.87 billion, which is bigger than many other coins out there. But remember, we want to mitigate that risk, but still offer some serious return potential. Now, I don't want to overcomplicate this video, but let me just break down in layman's terms what each of these projects does. This is Tau Bitenza. It's backed by some of the biggest names in crypto. Now, this is a decentralized market for AI projects. Okay, so why is that useful? Well, when you're building AI projects, there's problems. It's incredibly expensive to build new AI projects because they need a lot of time to develop. They need to learn a lot of information. They don't just start up one day and start delivering really good answers and all that kind of stuff. They need to be able to learn. And what Tau Bitenza does is it connects lots of different AI projects together so that they can talk to each other in this market. Within the market, they can start to train each other to become better at what they're doing. Not only that, but you can then contribute your project back into the ecosystem to teach other projects, earning rewards in the process. This is obviously in a decentralized manner, but still you're maybe a bit confused by what this means. Let's say, for example, some doctors out there have identified a machine that can go and understand different X-ray pictures to identify different types of cancers forming. Now, this is obviously an incredibly important thing to get right. Now, lots of projects can start to identify X-ray pictures of these different types of cancers forming, and they can continue to train each other on this information by sharing different images of different cancers that they're finding into the centralized system. And this is potentially great because it's going to save lots of different doctors and stuff, lots of time, and it's going to allow those doctors to go and focus on different elements of the healthcare system, which is better for the patient, etc. But this is just one use case. You can also implement this into finance, security, all sorts of different things there. So I like Tau Bitenza because it's truly decentralized. It's a step towards the future, an AI-based decentralized future. Now, right now, you can see it has been performing strongly and has had a recent pullback to around 28%, giving us now a pretty reasonable entry. You can see a downtrend has formed. We've now broken out this downtrend and started to form this cup. as soon as we break up here, you can see Tau Potenza will continue on its way. Now, given the potential growth of the AI market over the coming years, Tau Potenza, while it sits there with a market cap of around 3.8 billion, I don't see it unreasonable to see a project like this heading towards 50, maybe even $100 billion during this bull market, which potentially gives you 20 to 30x. So just on a $200 bet, you could potentially see anywhere between $4,000 to $6,000 returned. And this is a beauty of a balanced portfolio in crypto, because if you only invest initial $1,000 and you get that much return from one particular project, then you can see if one of these projects has a really good bull run and maybe some others don't perform how you thought they might, you're still going to have a really good time of it and have some really good returns. Now, where next? Well, you've probably heard of BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager with $10.2 trillion with the T under management. This is a really big thing right now because it's showing that institutional money, non-crypto people, are starting to enter into crypto. And this is huge because if you look at the market size comparison that the global markets have compared to the likes of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, then you'll see that crypto is incredibly small by comparison. However, there is an area of the market within cryptocurrency that is starting to bridge these assets and move them into cryptocurrency. And that is none other than real world assets, something that many people aren't focusing too heavily on, but I think we need exposure to. Now, you might have noticed when we looked at Tau Potenza that we're looking at slightly bigger market cap coins. And lots of people out there will be like, no, don't buy that. It can't go up significantly. Potentially, you're not going to see 100x in these crypto coins, but you have a far higher chance of seeing a 20 to maybe 30x in some of these crypto coins than you have of picking a coin out there with a small cap that's going to go into 100x. People who go after those 100x coins tend to leave this bull market with nothing because they're going after high risk, high reward bets that very often don't pay off at all. Therefore, what we're looking to do with our $1,000 is to turn it into something like $20,000 to maybe $30,000 in this bull market, which I think you'll agree is incredible rates of return. And then into the next bull market with our 30 grand, we've only got to go and do a 20 to 30x there. And then we're up towards the magical $1 million. When it comes to real world assets, this is Ondo. Now you can see Ondo currently sits there with a $1 billion valuation. And for those people out there who are like, should I wait for January for the unlocks to take place? Don't worry, I'm going to deal with that question in a moment. It's really not such a big issue, and I'll tell you why. Now, Ondo is kind of like the blue chip, large cap of the real world asset class. It's institutional grade finance now on chain. Remember what I was saying about the markets and connecting these two things together? Potentially going to see Ondo being the one or one of a few that manages to do this. Now, why is that? Well, Ondo has already started to bring in some of the best financial products on chain. BlackRock is looking at a future where they tokenize the majority of assets and have partnered up with Ondo for this. Now, they have the OUSG stablecoin, which offers 4.94% APY. And you're like, 4.9% is not a lot of money. I agree. But this is for US treasuries. This is going to allow institutional level companies with billions, if not trillions of dollars to be able to make 4-5% per year. And that's all they're really looking to do. You can see at the moment, $205 million of TVL and continuing to grow all the time. Not only that, but it gives retail investors like myself and you, as well as other institutions, a way to access yields from US Treasury bonds. This is US government-backed financial instruments, okay? Starting to understand why regulation and compliance within the real-world asset class is so essential to picking a good product. Not only that, but they also have US dollar yield where you can earn 5% APY on that, which again is very exciting. They're backed by some of the biggest names in crypto, which again is incredibly important because VCs are the ones who are driving the growth of different crypto coins right now. While we're seeing not a lot of new retail in the space, VCs will be pumping their bags, and that's why we want to be holding potentially VC-backed projects as the bull market gets running. Now, they have one of the most stacked teams across crypto, which again is an important thing to go and look at. Nathan and Justin used to work together at Goldman Sachs. They were basically head of the digital assets development team. This, therefore, makes Ondo a top pick within the real-world asset classes. Now, I will address something that many of you down in the comments are starting to write about. You showed me your crypto portfolio a few weeks ago, and you don't hold any Ondo. There's a reason that I don't hold any Ondo, but I would still recommend it to people who are looking to go and invest in crypto for the first time. Why? Because I spend all my time in crypto researching and analyzing different crypto projects, and I have exposure to real-world asset classes in much smaller, much higher risk coins that I think could see better potential returns. Notably, much higher risk, I don't think high risk is necessarily suitable for people who are entering into crypto for the first time. I also have lower risk assets in some of the AI coins I hold and deep in, etc. So for the real world asset class, I personally have gone riskier, but that's because I spend a lot of time in the space and a bunch of other reasons. But in my opinion, this is still an incredible product to look at if you so wish. But in my opinion, this is still a great one to go and look at. Now, whenever I talk about a crypto project, people are down below. They're like, well, there's going to be huge unlocks. And guys, in a bear market, when the market's cooling off, or like we've just seen over the last 8 months, unlocks are not a good thing. People tend to sell their money out of that coin and then hold the USDT, ready for the next bull market phase to kick in. But when we're in a bull market, when the trajectory is up, unlocks are really not that bad. Actually, unlocks are indicating that there's lots of VCs backing them. But if you really want to see the significance of the next unlock on Ondo, you can go to dropstab.com. And you can see that there is a minor unlock coming very soon in just the next couple of days, November 18th, 0.1% is going to get unlocked, which is not a big deal at all. But on the 18th of January, you have a significant unlock coming. And that's 19.4% of the total supply getting unlocked. Now, many people will be like, I don't want to hold this coin before that unlock happens. But here's the thing. Lots of those people who will get their tokens unlocked at that period of time are, guess what? VCs. What do you think those VCs are trying to do to that price right now? Pump that shit as high as they can. Why? Because then when they do get the unlock, they can take profits much higher levels. So why would you wait for that unlock? It's better to build in before the unlock happens and then maybe, if you wish, to take profits around then. But in a bull market, remember, if Ondo is still the best play because Ondo will do a 20 to 30x, then a lot of that unlock won't have a huge impact at all because those people will tend to hold for longer. Not only that, big VCs are not dumb, okay? They don't want to dump all their tokens at once because it will ruin the project, and then the next unlocks they get over the next 3 or 4 years won't pay off in any way at all. So what do? They employ market makers to come in and manage those unlocks, okay? So the unlock comes in, the market maker will pump the price of the coin, move it around so that they can unload tokens at a price in a way that doesn't really have a big impact on the price, okay? So all that stuff about unlocks and panic and stuff, guys, it's very newbie chat. Don't be worried about it, okay? It tends to not have much of an impact. Obviously, do your research into how market makers work and how really these VCs are taking their exits. If you are not a VC or you haven't been involved in any big VC unlocks, then I understand why you might not know that, but hopefully that's been useful for you to hear about. Now, next up, a crucial element of any portfolio, if you ask me, should be a layer 1 blockchain. Now, if you're newer to crypto, that might be a bit confusing. Layer 1s are like Ethereum, Solana, and a bunch of others that have come in. They're basically the network that individual projects can come in and build on top of. This is really important because certain projects that come in and build on top of them, if lots of people are using those products, then that chain underneath will benefit, the ecosystem will benefit because it gets way more transactions and, you know, it's just a better place to be. And that's why the layer 1 I've chosen is SUI, which is a proof of stake blockchain. Many out there will argue that a proof of work blockchain is better because it's more secure and blah, blah, blah. But I'm not so interested in this kind of better because of the tech kind of thing. I'm interested when layer 1s are getting used aggressively because that's where you're going to see growth, and we're investing in these projects to see returns on our investments. So it's worth checking out this particular piece of news. Transact Powers have recorded a 300% growth in the SUI transaction volume, and that was just 15 hours ago, okay? So SUI's ecosystem is absolutely booming right now. And if you come over to DeFi Llama, SUI as well is seeing a huge growth in its TVL. Look at the products down below that are built on top of SUI. There's a lot of growth going on in this ecosystem, okay? So lots of different people are investing and using these platforms that are all built on top of SUI. And this is exciting, right? You can also see the volume here surging up $157 million on a daily basis. And the market cap still sat here around $5.7 billion. You might be like, oh, that's a pretty big market cap. It's not huge, okay? Because Solana currently is around $80 billion market cap, which is about a 35x from here for SUI to go up to Solana market cap. Whether that happens in this bull market or not, let's wait and see. But I do think that a 25 to 30x is possible for SUI. And why is that? Well, the team originally came from the Facebook DM project, which was kind of like the blockchain of Facebook or Meta. Those guys went and branched off and created both Aptos and SUI. Now, this is one of the largest holdings that I have in my own personal portfolio, predominantly for the reasons I'm telling you about right now. Not only that, but it's aligning itself as a potential Solana killer for a variety of different reasons. Not only is it ultra fast and one of the fastest blockchains out there with a proven 100,000 transactions plus of speed, but it's also built using the Move programming language, which is an upgrade on Rust, which is the programming language used for Solana. Not only that, they've also brought in their own oracles to replace having to use Pyth, which means that they can then leapfrog against Solana. Okay, back in the room. That's getting more technical. I don't want to get too technical on this. Understand this. New projects in cryptocurrency, they want to build on ecosystems that are flourishing. They also want to build on ecosystems that give them the flexibility and speed that they need, but also ones that are easy to develop on because it's much quicker, faster, and cheaper to develop on them. Sui offers all of these different things, and that's why the transaction speeds are absolutely surging towards the upside, and that's why the Sui token is also increasing in price. Now you can see Sui is basically up near all-time highs, and recently it did have a healthy pullback all the way down to around 1.6, but look, as Bitcoin starts to show recovery, you can see how quickly Sui starts to wake up again. I do anticipate that this is fairly early stages for this particular project. We're still yet to break properly beyond these highs. We've come back to retest these highs from previous, and I do think that the next moves are going to be much higher. Remember, 25 to 30x is kind of the upper end of where I think this could end up at the top of the bull market if everything goes to plan. Very exciting ecosystem to look into. Okay, where to next? We've already done real world assets, we've done layer ones, we've got a bit of Bitcoin. Well, obviously, there's another area of the market that's going to do really well. Gaming, okay? Video game market revenue worldwide from 2017 to 2027, obviously we're in 2024 right now, $455 billion with a B. That's bigger than the market cap of Ethereum. That's crazy, right? And you can see by 2027, the gaming industry is going to be worth significantly more. Not only that, but this is from 2022, and this is the revenue of gaming at nearly $200 billion, being nearly twice that of books and being more than twice that of movies. Okay? Gaming is incredibly big. So even if you're not a gamer or whatever, I'm not really a gamer, although I am partial to playing a bit of Candy Crush on the toilet now and then. Sorry. But you can see gaming is an industry that is going to boom. But not only that, blockchain gaming is the future of gaming. Why? It's such a natural fit. If you're playing a video game, hours upon end, and you want to be able to take the character that you've invested so much of your time and effort in building up into other games and other features around different games in an ecosystem, well, this is what blockchain gaming is going to be able to do. You're also going to take your earnings and start to invest across different things, build up your players, be able to sell those players onto other people and have true ownership of your players. Also, you're going to be able to play games and earn rewards for playing and participating in different games. Overall, this is something that's going to completely change and revolutionize the world of gaming. And it's starting to happen right now with Off the Grid, which is a huge game that's just arrived and started to capture Web 2 gamers and move them into Web 3. So gaming is a pretty obvious one to pay attention to. But investing in individual games, while potentially very profitable, can also be quite risky because maybe those games don't turn out to be as good as everyone thought they would be. Therefore, as far as I'm concerned, I like to invest in ecosystems or gaming ecosystem coins. What does that mean? It means betting on the whole of the ecosystem for returns. Should crypto gaming take off, which we're pretty certain it's going to do, these ecosystem coins will do well, rather than betting on an individual game that could flop and still the ecosystem does really well. This is tough to pick because I was looking at Superverse, but Superverse has been performing very strongly recently. While still a great investment, good ecosystem token, I do think that Beam is maybe one where we're going to see slightly better upside potential, given that it is yet to pop and its chart looks fantastic. Beam currently sits with a $920 million market cap, and again, I don't see any reason why this can't do a 20 to 30x, maybe even more during this bull market. Now, Beam is what many would call an S-tier crypto project, which means it lists on the very best exchanges out there, the Binances, the OKXs, and Coinbases of this world. It's an open source and full infrastructure blockchain built especially for gaming. Yes, we already have Sui, which is a layer 1 blockchain, more geared towards DeFi and other applications. Beam is heavily targeted towards gaming. Now, Beam has already partnered with huge names in the gaming space like Immutable X and Polygon, which is obviously key. And they've also managed to onboard a bunch of Web 2 games with already millions of active users into their ecosystem to start developing Web 3 elements. Now, Beam is founded originally by Merit Circle, which is one of the biggest investors in the whole gaming space. Therefore, they have pretty much the entire ecosystem at their beck and call. And right now, there's over 30 games developing on Beam. So again, when people are talking about like layer ones and backing particular ecosystems, you need to back the ecosystems that are gaining users and gaining active people coming in, okay? Why would you want to go and invest in a company or something like that that is failing to gain any partnerships, that is failing to onboard new clients and bring in customers? You just wouldn't do it in a day-to-day life. So why would you do it in crypto? Now, don't worry, this isn't an error, but this is the Doge chart. This is a meme coin. I'm not saying that this coin belongs here. I want to give you an example. Look at the chart pattern, okay? We get that nice fall down. We get our nice rounded base. We break this neckline, and then look at what Doge did. Just a couple of days ago, it rallied 36% from this area. Why am I showing you that? Well, look, this is Beam. You get the downtrend, you get the archway, you can open up, and you can see that Beam is literally about to break out of its little cup here. Nice little cup and saucer for you there. We're going to see a break up towards this level next, and it's going to happen really very soon, okay? Therefore, Beam looks fantastic. This is why I chose Beam over Superverse. Both will see significant upside, but this is my exposure to the gaming ecosystem. Now, guys, these projects that we've talked about today, as well as other projects, are all available through Bitunix. I appreciate if you're new to cryptocurrency, you're probably using Coinbase, but Coinbase is incredibly expensive. You're going to lose a load of your money, particularly if you're using smaller amounts of capital. You will lose a load of money trading on Coinbase. I recommend that you use Bitunix, which is linked down below in the description. Why do I recommend this? Well, it doesn't require a KYC or know your customer. You can use this without having to tell anyone who you are. It also doesn't require a VPN. No matter where you live in the world, you'll be able to access this website. And also, we add different coins to this every single day. Okay, so I'm in contact with the team constantly to upgrade and add new tokens here. We have direct contact with the team. So should you ever have any issues with this, you can reach out to us in the House of Crypto team, and we will go and fight your battles for you, dealing directly with Bitunix. Not only that, but if you enter through that link down below, you'll also qualify for potentially being able to win $47,000 of the Halloween lottery and various other things that they have going on all the time. So it's an absolute no-brainer. If you're new to crypto, then start getting involved in some of the better exchanges with lower fees, and you will have much better time of it. Not only that, Coinbase, massive exchange, easy to use, yes, but has a very limited number of coins. If you want all the degen coins out there, then you need to go to Bitunix, which is linked down below. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're new to crypto and it feels overwhelming, don't worry, just subscribe to the channel and I'll continue to update you on what's going on in these coins and others as the bull market moves on, and help you to understand things that you should be looking out for. Hit the like button if you haven't already, and I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye-bye.